Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we dive into one of the most shocking political and military moments of this war. A sudden Ukrainian strike has done more than just damage. It's shaken the very foundation of Russian politics. Moscow is reeling, the Kremlin is silent, and Putin's circle is on edge. What really happened, and how deep does this crisis go? In the early hours of the morning, reports started flooding in about a new wave of Ukrainian drone and missile attacks targeting critical Russian military and supply centers. But this one was different. This time, the political impact was louder than the explosion itself. What was once considered Russia's strongest front has now turned into its weakest point: the government's credibility. Inside Moscow, panic is quietly spreading. Russian state TV tried to control the narrative, calling it minor damage, but leaked videos told a different story. The explosions were massive, the fires uncontrollable, and the silence from top officials only added to the tension. For the first time, Putin's power looks vulnerable, not from outside pressure, but from the cracks forming inside his own system. Sources close to the Kremlin describe meetings filled with shouting, accusations, and fear. The strike wasn't just a military failure, it was a symbolic one. It proved that no matter how hard Russia tries to show control, Ukraine still has the power to strike where it hurts most. Putin's image as the unshakable leader is beginning to fade, replaced by uncertainty and growing dissent within his elite circles. Across Ukraine, morale is soaring. The country sees this attack as a turning point, a message that even the heart of Russia is not untouchable. For soldiers on the front line, this victory is more than tactical, it's emotional. They've fought for months under relentless fire, and now they've managed to hit the empire that once seemed invincible. Western analysts say the political consequences of this attack could be more devastating than the physical damage. Every failed Russian response fuels internal criticism, especially from military hardliners who believe Putin is being too soft. At the same time, moderates are calling for negotiations, fearing economic collapse and isolation. The divide inside Russia's leadership is widening by the day. In cities like St. Petersburg and Moscow, whispers are turning into open frustration. Russian citizens are starting to question the endless war that has drained their economy and taken thousands of lives. Videos of the aftermath are spreading faster than censorship can stop them. And while officials try to project calm, their eyes tell another story: the fear of losing control. Ukraine's leadership, meanwhile, celebrates but stays cautious. They know this war is far from over, but this moment proves something important. Russia is not as stable as it pretends to be. The bridge between propaganda and reality is crumbling, and even Putin can't rebuild it with speeches or threats. The Kremlin's propaganda machine continues to spin its story, blaming NATO and Western intelligence for every strike. But even loyal citizens are beginning to see through the narrative. Social media is filled with anger, questions, and disbelief. The cracks in the system are growing louder than the explosions on the battlefield. Putin's image, once untouchable, is now surrounded by uncertainty. Every public appearance is analyzed for signs of weakness. Rumors about internal disagreements, failing strategies, and even health concerns are spreading again. For the first time, his silence feels like weakness, and his words don't calm the storm anymore. What happens next will define the future of this war. If Russia can't regain control politically, no number of missiles or tanks will fix the damage. Ukraine has found a new weapon, not just military power, but the power to break confidence inside the Kremlin. And that, Jenny, is what makes this strike one of the most dangerous blows to Putin yet. Stay tuned as the situation unfolds, because what's happening in Moscow right now could reshape the course of the entire conflict. The world is watching, and the silence from the Kremlin speaks louder than any explosion.